I'll film this just in case anything good happens. Like you run Rich over. I don't think we're going to be doing much talking with it running.
No, so knock it off.
Yeah.
Oi!
Noisy.
Oi!
Oi! I'm Craig from Dynotorques.
No, you're not. You're Rich from Driftworks.
Hi, Craig from Dynotorques with the Evo project, which is now looking like an Evo. Ignore the fact there's no front arches yet, because...
It looks a bit more like a Shogun at the moment.
Yeah, Gaz is, hopefully tomorrow, is painting them and the front bumper. But look, we have panels.
I need to stand back a bit to get it. Whoa!
Or watch that.
Toolbox there.
Yeah, it's been a long time, well, quite a while since we did the last video.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot going on. Nothing like major exciting, like fitting the wire, but just fitting up all the stuff, which has took so long, it's ridiculous. But just like putting all the rear tailgate back together, so that's all done now, all the back's done, a little bit of trim to do, rear bumpers back on, tow bars back on. I've shortened the tow bar up a little bit so it hung down too low and looked ridiculous. But just like doing all the nuts and bolts, all new screws and clips and bolts and...
Shut the boot, let's
like, even like the clips for these, we've had to get a guy, one of the guys before them, order some from Japan. You know, order all the new clips, everything works.
Shut that, let's have a look at the back of it. It's got quite a sporty spare wheel on it.
And on the spare wheel normally, they stick out about, I think it was nearly 3 inches or 2.5 inches.
Yeah, you've tucked that right in, haven't you?
So it was a lot of work, but with the support that bolts on, we're basically, it's a weird shape, but we basically sectioned it in so the wheel almost touches. And it's just little things like that. I mean, it took so long to do, but it really annoyed me. I hated the way it hung out to the back. And it only had 3 bolts. So I've made it so it has now, we're waiting for the wheel nuts to come. But now it has 6 in. And it's just silly little things out that, you know, most people probably never notice or it doesn't really matter, but it just annoyed me. There's new glass available for these. So I've got new glass coming front and back. And it always looks nice when you put new screens in. And I mean, by this age card, a lot of the heated wrist windows don't work anyway. So, although I think this one did. Lights I'll read them. Originally, this one had lights in here because it was actually one of the 50 British cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They sold 53 Mitsubishi UK, and they had to have UK lights in here, and they were horrible.
Oh, they just cut in, or did it have a UK back bumper on it?
They were literally, they're still here somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, right.
I think they are Shogun lights now, but all the wiring, none of it's waterproof, so
it's all gone a bit black inside and...
Yeah. I bought new ones, but they just look terrible, so Gaz has done a nice job of sorting all that out. And then we've rewired the lights so the lights work as they should. Ended up redoing all the wiring in them because it was just a mess. All the flaps on, made some arch liners. That one's, I've just got to finish screwing that one in, but I made some new arch liners to fully do the inside, just try and protect it. Geometry's a bit all over the place at the moment because...
I was going to say, your camber looks a bit like...
yeah.
Doesn't look too bad up here, but...
The right way. So I do the toe and the geometry now. It's literally just come off the ramp Saturday. Finalised on the wheels, they're the wheels with running tyres.
And more importantly, you've just driven it forwards.
Yeah, it drives and works. So the wiring was quite a challenge for basically we're running the original ECU from the Escalade. I paid a guy in America they do like a little canvas box and everything, which because all like reverse lights and neutral, so it won't start in gear and all that sort of stuff is done from the gearbox, not off the selector. I had made all switches and that for the selector to use it, but it's done electronically. Do like a little canvas box that makes it work. So it seems easy to buy the module, and it comes with a wiring diagram to basically wire it into the to get the engine running.
Is that to put these engines in any old car?
Within reason, yeah. It basically tells you what wires you need to connect on here to make the engine run. So that's done. So it's all integrated. This is still the transfer box wire, which I've got to do now, and the port injection needs wiring in. So that's
what are you going to use to run that injection?
That's going to be an Emerald.
Oh, you are still
yes,
an
we're
Emerald.
running Emerald to run the port injection and the transfer box control. So at the moment it's just 2-wheel drive.
Right.
So I want it to be able to rather than just going 2-4, I want to be able to actually wind the clutch in to work, which will be much nicer. And in theory we can measure wheel spin and actually do it as wind it in as we go, rather than just one or the other. Airbox. I can't remember what we videoed last time. It's been a while.
I remember we were looking at the supercharger pulley through the hole in the bonnet, but I don't remember a fat lot else. It's been some months.
That's the proper Escalade airbox for that engine. And they made an adapter and to put all the airflow meter and everything in with a K&N in the bottom and that feeds from the cold air from the wings. So it just seemed, rather than putting the K&N in trying to build a box, there's a box available and it sort of works.
And you've got all the cooling stuff now.
Yeah.
Fitted, bolted up.
So we've got radiator, aircon condenser, charge cooler, engine oil cooler, gearbox oil cooler, aircon
Condenser.
receiver jar condenser. No, receiver jar, I think.
Oh, right, sorry, there, yeah.
In theory, the aircon is ready to gas up and try, and hopefully I've got no leaks. And in theory, that's wired in as well, because you have to wire in everything. This is a little box like a little fuse box that comes from like powertrain. It basically just powers they're like 25 amps in America.
Right.
So that powers up the ECU in separate control. We've got quite a lot of wires left, as you can see. These are basically ready to get rid of. I didn't want to pick them out of the loom and everything, just in case you take them out and then go, I sort of needed that, which would have been a bit of a problem. We've got charge, all the water circuit and everything's done, which I think we showed back last time, all the pumps and everything.
Yeah, I think the engine was fitted in the chassis, wasn't it? Well, the body must have been on, actually.
Yeah, the body was on. So all the front's done, bonnet catch is done.
You got some sporty seats inside, haven't you?
Yeah. Right, were we doing brakes last time as well?
I can't remember. It's got brakes.
Yeah, Evo 6, 7, I think they are.
These wheels?
The wheels are from Driftworks. They are Rotor Grid V. They're basically TE copies.
Yeah.
Can't afford TEs. Well, it's true.
A very good wheel.
No, they are. I wouldn't put them on if I didn't rate them. I've used them a lot over the years. Never had issue. They're good. And I think TEs are like $4,000, are they?
Yeah. Well, they don't make them in the size you want.
No. They're 8s. I really wanted a 9, but anyway, they sorted them out next door for me, so that was good. All sides. So I'm just waiting for the front arches, front bumper. I've got the supports all on there, powder coat, and inside we have.
There we get this in there.
So you have to have an RD steering wheel, because I have them on. I don't have my RX-7 and stuff like that, and they're just really, really, really nice. So that's
The sat nav's gone again. Did it not work again?
No.
Oh, of course not. Don't buy AliExpress Android sat navs. Is that what we're saying?
Sat nav that fits in there, and it fits and worked really neat. Everything plugged it in, just dead. And my mate was a bit techy sort of guy. I tried to fix it. He said no, it didn't work. He said I'll order another one, and we'll try and plugged it in. Everything worked really good. It's actually really, you can do Waze, Apple Pay, everything on it. Lasted about 15 minutes and then stopped working again. So we're working on a plan for that. But it turns out the head unit, I've powered that up now, and that does CarPlay and everything anyway.
Yeah, it was a nice thing up on the top of the dash.
Yeah, because it's down now, you can't see it, and that way you can have.
I bet you could have run a dongle out of the OBD and had some gauges on that top one if you wanted to.
The plan was to run that for like sat nav, have information for whatever I want really, and then have a separate to the music. So I want
Oh, I say you could have put gauges up there, but you've got something else to show as well, haven't you?
Ah, yeah.
Hang on, we haven't done the seat.
Oh, sorry. Yep. All right.
Let's
Right. So again,
let me come round there.
I bought these for it literally when they were probably the first thing I bought when I bought the car.
Yeah, they've been upstairs, haven't they?
They've been next door for
a year or something.
Probably literally a year now. But I've always looked like
what are they? Recaro CS?
They're Recaro CS.
Sportster CS.
Sportster CS. What's the difference, Rich? I think it's got a lower side here, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's just a lower side. Quite a pain in the arse to fit. As anybody that's ever fitted seats, they are the worst job ever. And the seat runners on this are really weird. They're like all on different levels and all over the place. So
and also double height, as we can see here. They're quite tall, aren't they?
They're really high. You sit really high in these, like way too high. It's not a very nice sitting position. So I put it in low and thought that's loads better, and it was way too low. So I spent quite a lot of time getting it just right, exactly how I want it, and it still moves everything. It doesn't actually go forward enough to get into the back. So the other side, there's like a folding base you can get for the bottom, which I've got, and hopefully that'll work, because otherwise I've got another two-seater, which isn't really the plan.
Not with a family of 4?
No.
And a dog?
I mean, to be honest, the original Evo seats, they are horrendous to get in the back.
Yeah, I've got in the back of the silver one.
Rubbish.
It's tight.
And the seats don't return back to the original position. It's just, and if you go over a bump without a passenger and the seat rattles around, it's rubbish. So I've got to get that better. So that's that done. Gear selector all works as it should. So that all got drive, park, everything all works right. GM pedals in. All feels nice and the right height. Again, getting the pedal with the right height and the right distance to the top and everything is really important, because if you get it wrong, the pedal either feels too light or too stiff, or you don't have the modulation with your foot. So it's really important to get that right. That's something we see a lot in converted cars. They'll cut the pedal really short and it ends up stiff, and like you've got no tip in, and it's just not very nice at all. So side glass in, roof, all the spoilers, all that bit's on.
Yeah, you get your door panels and everything on.
Yeah, they need a proper clean. I've got to give them another clean.
It looks quite sporty in red, doesn't it, as a car?
Oh, I'm so glad I did it. But I mean, it would still be nice white, but I think it doesn't do it justice here really. If it was sunny Saturday, and it just looks fantastic.
Did you have it outside?
No. You get a bit of sun through here.
I think it's the best decision that he made, was painting it red.
Where are you?
I think viewers of YouTube, we were talking about it earlier, should he put like a decal or something on the door? Do you know where we normally say like Ralliart or Mitsubishi or whatever? Should Craig put something on his door?
Tribals.
Mm.
I was thinking like Dynotorques, but
I mean, they do like a big Evolution that goes up here on one of them, but I think it's
a bit much,
too much, yeah.
Unless you're going to put Escalade, Cadillac.
They have Evolution along here normally.
That wouldn't be too bad.
I might just put something along there. Where's that now? There's a thing that comes with a supercharger, which is quite cheesy.
Is there a number plates around?
It is.
oh,
Does it say louder than your mum last night?
Wipple Superchargers.
It's a bit much that, isn't it, to be honest?
Yeah, it's a bit gash, isn't it? But
Fraser will have it.
yeah, probably.
It's like a magpie.
So, really put the seat in, front panel's back on, and I think it's do the geometry.
You got to show your dash.
Yeah, and so I chat to Phil looking. Well, you should know this. How many hours, days you spend fitting this?
A few.
So I'll get onto it so you can see it. I was going to put original dash in, then I was going to try. I've got another dash in mind, one like a smaller one, but I keep looking at one of the Lambo thinking it's really nice. So I've ended up with
An AIM MXG 1.4 or 1.2 Strada.
So basically, it's the road dash that has indicators and like high beam load. Basically, it's the road dash, so it should do everything.
It does. It is very configurable.
Yeah. So
and big.
Yeah. I've got the binnacle here because this is the OE one. Carbon effects there, which is nice.
Yeah.
I just bought a standard one out of a normal Shogun, and that will fit into there somehow.
Yeah, it should do.
I've got to work out the angle to get it, exactly how I want it, but I think it's got to be a little bit like that. So that will basically get sunk into the dash. I found a 3D printed shroud for it, so I'm gonna get that printed and then try and mould that into here, and that's the plan, and that should be nice. And that gives you like all the data then that I can have all like air temps, water temps, everything really. I mean, I think you can put like
it'll run off CAN if you can get it to talk to it.
Yeah, I mean that's the plan, is because the GM ECU there's so much data on it, it's ridiculous.
Providing that they can provide you with the
protocol
to read it.
I mean, it'll read most of the emission stuff. I think by law they have to read the emission stuff.
Okay, just on OBD2.
Yeah, but like they don't always have things like oil pressure aren't on there, which is a little bit annoying because that's obviously quite important. So I need to try and work out what we can get on it without adding
more sensors.
I've got like fuel pressure, fuel temp sensors on the car.
Factory ones, are they?
No, I've added them in. But then I think there is fuel pressure and everything in the car anyway, all on the CAN bus, which I think will work. It's just whether we can see the data. It's just GM generic CAN bus, but I'm not sure quite what that will work with. I need to,
it'll work with anything if you know the address. Yeah. It's just, you have to.
But I know when we've tried to find out the GM stuff in the past, there's actually very little information because people say, well, it just works. It's like, but if we want to get more information out of it, then that's the problem. The other thing we had to do, obviously, with the GM ECU, when you wire it in, obviously it comes like security coded for the car. So Paul at Vortex sorted us out with. This is basically HP tuner. That's like it's a little donk. You plug it into your ODB, and then you can go into the ECU, and you can do just about anything. Take the VATs off, which is the vehicle anti-theft. We've turned off, you can turn off the fuel sensor because it hasn't got variable fuel pressure. You can turn off that.
Has it got all the oxygen sensors in this? Does it have 4 or?
There's only 2.
Yeah.
So we're just running 2. So you only need to run 2. But you can have, when you put it into reverse, you can have like a higher RPM for reverse and lower RPM, so it can pull backwards. Just massive, pages and pages and pages of stuff you can alter. But we can turn off displacement on demand. There's loads of little bits and bobs that we need to do. To be honest, I don't know all of it by a long way. When you get the Wipple Supercharger, it comes with, because it's an A car normally, they put an LT4 map sensor in. So you have to reconfigure, put all the settings in so that because it reads different.
Yeah, the scaling's different on the.
So we've found.
So what's it got, like a 3-bar in there or something now? Or?
I think it's 3-bar, yeah. So we've put the 3-bar sensor in, but it sort of comes with it. That's all in. The airflow meter's rewired. You have to rewire that because the air intake temp, they move it from the airflow meter into the map sensor, so it reads the supercharger boost, the intake, rather than the boost pressure.
Right.
Temperature side. So that's all done. So that should work. I think I need to go up on the spring rate on the front. I guessed. Well, the aftermarket springs are 12.9 kgs. But if you look at the front with the 12 on, it's fairly compressed.
Is that a big fat engine?
Yeah, a big fat pig in the front. But the swing, I mean, if you look at the front swings on it originally, they're a proper beefy thing. But because it's much bigger diameter, obviously, it needs a stiffer swing, so or a thicker wire. So I think I want to go up on the front. The back's a bit high at the moment, so I need to come down at the back. But there's no
That's
point.
it's not a bad view. You can stand back here and see it all.
It's hard to tell without your front arches on.
Yeah, I mean, once the arch is on, and I mean, I mentioned it against the other one, that's like 2 inches higher than the other one, but it doesn't look, I mean, the standard one, this one and the other one, the bump stop was probably only about 10 mil from the lower arm from standard. So I'm not quite sure what the original ride height should be. I'm sure.
Do you want it lifted?
No, not really.
Hopefully it's going to lift itself when you floor it.
Well, it'd be nice. It should be entertaining. Well, it best be after all this work.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are you still doing here, Stark? Yeah.
It is late for you, Rich.
10 to 8.
Are you going to tell the world what you've done or just deny it?
But can I just say?
Oh.
Well, I think we need the internet to right.
Right.
At what point,
come on, Rich. Come on in.
At what point do you pay the bill?
I've been paying you lots of bills.
No, the bill for losing this bet.
Yeah.
Well, it's not over.
Well,
it is for you.
Well, hang on a minute.
No, it's not. It's not over.
That's starting and driving in like just this. And I've built like 4 cars in the meantime, and
Yeah, you can't count the other 4 cars because they
Okay.
weren't part of the bet.
all right,
No,
fine.
they won't put the bet on.
That's
I don't
technical.
build cars for
That's
living.
just rubbing it in.
So-
I'd be worried if you hadn't built any
So-
other cars.
I mean, look at the state bit; it's nowhere near finished. Well, it's not, is it?
I don't like this attitude. I come round and I get bullied.
Bullied.
Good
reason. I mean, starting, running,
Driving.
complete overhaul.
I've got oil pressure.
Yeah, where's that washer? I mean, look at.
Come on, get it out of your pocket, Rich.
It's
Show
not-
the
it's
world.
not in my
I mean-
pocket. So one morning,
One morning.
I hastily put. What did I do? I hastily did something
Took the rocket
in the
off.
morning. Took the rocket cover off, and on the OEM one, the washers are like underneath. And as you do, you drop them in the engine.
No, you do.
In
As
the
I
freshly
do
built
in
engine.
my freshly built engine.
And what did all of us say to you, Rich?
I dropped one, and that turned out to be 2.
And we all said you have to be very worried about things going down the engine
And
hole.
I'm-
And you weren't that worried.
I'm rather blasé. So there we go. So we found a washer.
No, it found itself.
It found us.
Yeah, come on.
So this was a
So-
very, very close call.
I'm turning it over, and it's like, oh, that's gone a bit tight. We tried to crank it.
By a bit tight, do you mean lock solid?
Well, I didn't because it just about went on my setting. It's fine.
Right.
Anyway, it turns out it's dropped one of them down the engine.
Life lesson, people.
Be worried when
worried.
things go down the engine.
So,
Don't assume it's
At
just
what-
one washer.
Yeah, so what's the finishing point then? What is the official finishing point? Is it when that drives out the building with panels and windows?
No, I don't think so.
Well, what's the finishing point then?
I think it should be mapped,
What, when your car's done?
mapped, MOT'd and running. I think that's fair.
but I'm probably going to roadmap that, so that doesn't work. I think you just need to pay up because
No, give him a chance, give him a chance.
you would have done nothing yourself on this
I've done some things myself.
badly. There's not a tight nut bolt on the car.
I can find nuts that are tight somewhere.
Anyway, thanks Rich.
So this is about done.
Next video,
Next
wheelies
video,
up the car park.
Well, yeah, well, certainly, I mean, it'd be nice if we wheelie, but, let's hope. Get the bodywork back off gas, get the front on. This is the front support, so that's all powder coat ready. So that can go back on. I'm hoping by Saturday, screens in, bodywork's finished. Just dash to do. And then,
Crack on.
I think
We've
it's
been
ready to go.
yabbering for 25 minutes.
Right.
Phil might have to edit this, he might
Oh,
be sad, so we
yeah.
should probably finish it.
Right. Bye, everybody. See you next time, hopefully doing wheelies.
Goodbye. Buy some merch.